So when you launch Swift Playground, you have a screen similar to this. Yours may be empty and you don't have any projects there yet, but we're going to start you off. So if I click on the See All button at the bottom right, you see where my cursor is circling. I then am presented with lots of content. So we've got the Learn to Code materials, which you may be familiar with. We're going to start with a blank playground. From here, I can right click or hard press on the title here, and it will allow me to rename. And I'm just going to call this demo. And then I can open up my playground. So within our playground, as I mentioned, we've got our file directory on the left-hand column. From here, we're going to be using these user modules, which if you can't see them, we've got a little arrow to toggle. We've got this edit button, which allows us to add more files, and we're going to explore this later on. So if I click on both files, we now have these tab views, so I can see two bits of code at the same time. And once we have some code to execute, and we hit run, oops, and we hit run, we can click on a console here and it will display it. But we don't want to use this console. We're going to be building an interface. So when we run our code, it's important that we turn off enable results and enable console. And this will become a bit more apparent as we start to build up our structure. So starting with our structure. We need to import the necessary libraries. So we're going to import playground support. And we're going to import SwiftUI. We can use the plus icon at the top of the screen to get our base level format for our struct. We're going to call our struct content view, and it's of type view. So we're now creating a custom type, which is in line with our standards. We have initialize method, which we're not going to initialize anything, but we still need to have it. We then create our opaque view, opaque return type. Okay, and this is our base level structure. Inside here, we're going to call profile view, which doesn't exist yet, but we're going to create it afterwards. Okay, so I've got my profile view. It's saying it doesn't exist, which is fine. So we're basically going to copy this whole structure that we have, this whole format. We're going to create another one called profile view. And instead of calling it self, because that would be a bit silly, we're going to do color red, which will set a red background. The last thing we need to do is to present our view to the LiveView controller, which will sit on the side here. So we can call playground page .current .set LiveView, and then inside there we will call our content view, which is of course the name of our main view. So this is our sub view. This is our main view. So when we execute this, again, make sure we have our console enable results turned off. Run our code, and we should now see a RedView controller presented inside our LiveView. And this is the end of our first milestone.